Hello, I'm Joe Marzalak of VideoTVFilm.com. Windows 8, the consumer preview, has just come out this past week, and this is my hands-on for the novice basic home user that is looking forward to Windows 8, maybe wants to know more about it, and wants to use it for the first time. What can they expect? How do they get around it? I'm doing this because you see a lot of videos and articles talking about it's great, it's for this, it's for the tablet. They have videos on 55-inch touchscreens, them swiping and using it like a big iPad, and that's wonderful. But at work, at home, you're going to sit down, you're going to boot it up for the first time, and you're going to see the Metro screen, and you're not going to have a touch screen, you're going to have a mouse and a keyboard, and you're like, okay, where do I go from here? Yes, you're going to have buttons to click on all the major apps installed, maybe right on your screen, but you're not used to operating like that with your mouse and keyboard. Windows 8 platform is designed, the new strategy for Microsoft, to be more like the rest of the industry, where you have a Windows phone, it looks like the Metro interface. You have the Xbox 360, it now looks like the Metro interface. You get a Windows tablet that will be coming out later this year, it looks like the Metro interface. And the Windows 8, the Metro interface. And if you're lucky to have enough to have a PC with a touchscreen, great. Touch it away, use it like a giant tablet. But most of us are going to be with a mouse and keyboard. And it is a little bit different. And for the regular user, you're going to be like, well, how do I do this? How do I do that? And that's what we're going to cover here today. You just started up, you see the Metro interface, but you're like, well, okay, I want to use the calculator. I need to get to my Paint program. I want to use these little tools I'm used to using on Windows on a regular basis. I don't see that. How do I get to it? Once I have everything loaded, how do I switch between apps? Things like that. So the first thing is searching. You want an app, how do you do it? Well, when you have the Metro interface up, you can immediately just start typing. And you immediately go into the app search mode. So if I type in video, boom, I immediately see my Corel Video Studio, Trown, the Pro I have installed right away, and I can go and click on it. And now I just use that as an example because it was there. I did have tiles for it, but I immediately type, boom. If I type calc, the calculator would come up. If I type paint, boom, the paint program would show up. So even though I don't have a Metro panel for that, I can easily find it just by typing. If for some reason you're at a spot where you're maybe not at the Metro and you just want to get to it right away and search, you can do the Windows Q command, and you automatically go to this app search mode. If you want to go and search for Windows settings, you can do the Windows W keyboard command. If you want to search for files, you go to the Windows F command. Now, why do they have different Windows commands? You can say, well, I was in Windows 7. I'd click on the little globe where the start button would be in XP, and I would have a little search field, and boom, I could just start typing. I'd search them all. Well, you may be having a lot of spreadsheets at work, and you don't want to have applications showing up in your list. You just want your files. Or you just want to search for an app, and you don't want all these file names showing up in your list. So I think that's why they have the different keyboard commands to kind of filter and separate that stuff. So you know when you're looking at it, you're only seeing apps. You're only seeing files. So if you want to search for apps, just start typing or Windows Q. If you want to search for Windows settings, Windows W. If you want to search for files, go Windows F. And no matter where you're at, when you want to get back to the Metro screen, ground zero, so to speak, for your Windows, the Metro interface, just hit the Windows key. It will take you right back to the Metro interface no matter where you're at. So you open up this app, you open up your Paint, you open up your calculator, you have several apps open, and you're like, well, how do I switch between them? The easiest way to do that, well, there's several ways. The first one is you could kind of mimic the tablet environment, and rather than placing your finger in the upper left corner, you can place your mouse in the upper left corner and just click, and that'll bring up the open apps. An easier way is you can just do the keyboard command Windows Tab, and that will bring up your apps, and you can cycle through that. So if you keep doing Windows Tab, you should be able to cycle through. another way you can go through your apps is the old-fashioned Alt tab. And you can do Alt tab and boom, 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 cycle all through. So Windows tab, left corner of the screen, or the old-fashioned Alt tab is probably the best way to search and cycle through your apps that you already have open. Now you have your Metro interface, and you're like, I like the panels, but I want to move them around. Well, just like you would in a tablet, you just click, drag, and you can resort, reorder your panels the way you see fit. Next, you may want to say, well, I want to go back to the old-fashioned desktop. I like my desktop. I want my desktop. Well, there's a Metro panel. Right now, it's with the fish background on it on my standard install here. And it will take you to the Windows desktop. Now, the one thing I have to say is there is no start button. There is no button at the bottom that you're used to in Windows 7, Vista, XP. There is an application that you can install that can simulate that, but it is quicker with the keyboard commands. I will say that. It is definitely quicker with the keyboard commands. Now, you will have apps open, and the standard applications that you buy and are used to will have the normal file exit or file close. But the Metro apps do not have that functionality. The Metro apps don't have, they just always run. Just like on iPad and iTouch, they are always running. They're the Terminator. They will never quit. If you want to close them, because remember, you're on a desktop, you have tons of spreadsheets open, you want to open up different things, and then you want to close them to free up memory, you can do an Alt F4 to terminate applications. There is no other way that I'm aware of currently to close Metro apps other than that way or kill them in Task Manager. So that would be Alt F4. The one function that a lot of people want to do is administrative tasks. And Microsoft really did a nice feature here that you don't have to dig down in the menu system and go to Control Panel to find your administrative functions. You can simply click on the bottom lower left corner or do Windows X, and you will get this administrative screen that has basically 99% of the places you want to go to administrate your desktop. And most people don't even use any of these because they're just home users or whatever, but network administrators like myself or people that need to help support family members on their PCs, do the Windows X. You're going to find your network connections, your power options, your event viewers, your device managers, your disk management, your task manager, control panel, everything, 99% you go through. The only thing I can think of that I don't see here is getting into the registry. So Windows X for your administrative functions is wonderful. Or like I said, lower left-hand corner. The next feature that is a nice surprise by Microsoft, at least for me, because I use this a lot, creating procedures and manuals to give to people, is the print screen function. The old method of doing it would be print screen, go into Paint or Word, paste it in, then I got to crop, then save it later, or if you want to save certain things for wallpaper or icons or something like that, and your print screen, open Paint, paste. Well, now you can just Windows print screen, Windows print screen, Windows print screen. Keep just capturing your files, and Windows will automatically put it as a picture file in your My Pictures in your profile. So you can just go in to Paint or Word or your email system and automatically just boom, attach those files and either bring them up to edit or email to people or whatever. They're automatically saved. So you can just keep going and keep doing more print screens, more print screens, more print screens, and not having to deal with your clipboard memory and having to save all this manually. So the print screen function in Windows 8 is a nice improvement that can really help you. The next feature, this is just a minor item, is you can right click on the Metro panels, and you can bring up functionality for that panel. If you want to uninstall that panel, right-click on the panel. You can have it uninstall. You can run as administrator. You can open up the location of where that program's running from. So it's just something nice to know about in case you need to do one of those features. You don't have to hunt through menus or do other things to find those functionality. And last but least is, how do I shut this thing down? Before I could do start, bring up the menu system, and do log off, shutdown. Well, the nice feature is Windows I. With Windows I, you can get to certain system settings. You can click on more settings, or you can do the infamous power button. And that way you can safely turn off your PC and know you're doing it. Typically, I just hit the power button on my laptop and it starts going into shutdown mode. But if you're on a desktop where your PC's packed away underneath the desk and you don't want to try to go for that every time, you can just hit Windows I, go through the power option, and actually shut down Windows 8. And that is about it. If you review all the commands in this video, you should know how to bring up an application, search for an application, toggle between applications, close the applications, get to administrative functions on the PC, do print screens and know where to find those print screens under your profile, move around your tiles in your Metro, and also get to your desktop. And as I emphasized before, hit the Windows key, always takes you back to your Metro system, and then the good old Windows I to power off when you're done.